Welcome back to Football Fun Dates and to this episode of Fantasy Premier League. In this episode, we take a look at your captain picks for game week 2, some differentials you may want to consider. We did have a last episode in which we gave you the best fixtures in terms of Everton and Leicester City. Also, is this the game week you wild card or save that wild card, save those -4, -8 transfer points and hold on for one more game week? Kern, straight away, start us off with why you're going to go ahead with the team you're going to go ahead with.
It's simple, man. It's just been 1 week. Wild card of 1 week's performances is just, as you guys covered in the last episode, it's knee jerk, right? Much avoided right now. And this is a season where the wild card will be very needed. If there are these potential breaks that we're seeing coming with players, testing positive and things like that, possibly more shutdowns, you never know. You're going to have a lot more double game weeks down the line. You don't want to use a wild card of one bad week or for a single game week. Save it for something more important, and I see that coming on later this year.
Before we go ahead into your team, we also spoke about the differentials that you should have in your team in not just the coming week, but something you should look at over the next couple of game weeks till game week 6 at least. We also want to focus on if you have used your wild card though, if you already done the deed, make sure you at least had X amount of players in your team to make your wild card worth it. It shouldn't be a team just filled with your 12 plus midfielders and leaving yourself, light in defense, light in attack. Shouldn't just be a team where you've gone too differential, right, to get ahead of the pack. You need to now balance out your side. So, Kern, let's start with your team. Kern, I'm going to start it off immediately with Manchester City and Manchester United assets, right? That's something which we spoke about in the last episode with Abhishek. And we were saying that although it's very tempting to have those preset moves, Salah down to Bruno Fernandes, maybe Aubameyang down to KDB or Sterling. People are not talking about Sterling, right? I can see you've got Martial in, if I'm not mistaken, for Danny Ings.
Yeah.
Is that your only move? Is this your final team for this game week?
Yeah, this is my final move for this game week. As I said before, I'm not one who likes to take -4s, -8s. Aubameyang and Salah both had good game weeks. They, while Salah's fixture is obviously not very, very enticing, they are where Stamford Bridge, it is a fixture that does have goals in it at the end of the day. Chelsea defense is very leaky still. We saw them not having the best defensive game against Brighton. So I do see goals in this fixture. You can't bring Salah out off the back of that performance. I mean, come on. I got him in for Bruno on the last second, and I can't take him out after that. Aubameyang, great fixture against West Ham, whereas City are away to Wolves. So just considering all of that, I'm happy with this. Ings to Martial was maybe a heart over head move because Ings does have a good fixture. But what did, also bring my head into it was they have now faced, they played midweek as well, and they didn't do well midweek either in the Carabao Cup. They play the full 90 minutes, they lost 2-0. And for me, over the course of the next 37 weeks, I see Martial outscoring Ings. So for me, just off of that pays off. And in general, I think Martial should be a better striker to have in your team, at least of what we know so far currently.
So is Martial the kind of striker over Werner who you see to be in your team for the long haul, along with the likes of Salah right now and Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously?
Werner, I think, is in there for the long haul. Chelsea press conference came out.
He is fit. Lampard said that that he wanted to come out and say that he's going to be fit for a team like Liverpool. He doesn't want to not play. So that's great mentality of the player. Did look very sharp compared to the other Chelsea players. Chelsea overall, though, Brighton kind of made them look better in the second half. They weren't that good. Anybody else? We covered this in the last episode. Havertz. If you don't have him, maybe hold on for one more week. Ziyech, Chilwell's are not yet fit. The whole composition of the squad is not 100%, right? Would you then tell people maybe get Havertz out of your team and get in the likes of, James Rodriguez, like we covered in the last episode? Maybe look at Leicester City, look at Harvey Barnes.
I mean, if you have him so far, I'd say stick for one more week. Because you make a transfer out this week and then you'll bring him back the next week. It depends on what the bench is.
Correct. See, this is all assuming this is not a wild card. Right? These are just your one free transfers or one transfer plus -4. I personally don't think it's worth it that in the first 2 game weeks to take those knee-jerk reactions, unless your team has too many injuries or you feel that your players just look terrible, right? And okay, it's a gut
Yeah.
feeling, but I don't think you should do it. What do you think?
I mean, I think a lot of people would have just gone with a differential 11 to start with, just excited saying, you know what, I'm going to go totally different from the pack, and ended up with an absolute horrendous team. I've seen a couple of teams like that, a couple of drafts that have been sent to me. So those ones might need, but even then, my idea is, Annie, don't use a wild card. Just start a new team. Just start a new team. Just forget this team, delete it, start a new team. You obviously won't have the history of the previous years, but you'll still have that wild card in your bank. So for this season, it's probably better to
Mischievous.
start a new team, because if you're sitting on 18, 20, 30, 40 points, which makes you want to wildcard, you'll make that up in 37 weeks easy. We make that up in like 3, 4 weeks, right?
Very,
Without any.
very, very, very mischievous by our fundit over there. But I'm looking at it on a very serious note, right? The lack of United and City playing in the very first game week took out options like Sterling, KDB, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Martial, Mason Greenwood, Jack Grealish, even Pope, Taylor, Burnley assets, right? So a lot of teams have started out a little differentially, but they were maybe too differential, which is why you ended up with a team which looks kind of pointless on paper right now, which is why is the only reason you would have to or you should wildcard. Now, Kern, moving on from that, let's assume that you said these are your only changes going into this week. Before I go on to my team, it's worth to also know that Steer could be the starting keeper for Aston Villa, but Martinez has been confirmed from Arsenal to Aston Villa. And Dean Smith himself said that Martinez could be fighting fit because he's played the Community Shield, he's trained enough. So if you have the likes of McCarthy on the bench like I do as well, it is likely to you should consider that McCarthy could be the player coming on for you. Maybe that's something you want to look on to, maybe game week 3 onwards. Do not waste that transfer on the keeper right now, though. Correct?
Yeah, but yeah, definitely don't waste transfer on a keeper, on a 4.0 defender, 4.5 defender. I don't see the value in that. But if you notice, Annie, now, which is why Steer, who is just someone who I was keeping on the bench of the season, has come in. Sorry for this game week, because he plays Sheffield United at home. That's a great opportunity for a clean sheet as compared to McCarthy, who's facing Spurs. If Steer doesn't play, he doesn't play. It's a keeper, right? Very, very unlikely that he'll come on for just 1 point at the end. So if he doesn't play, McCarthy comes on for you anyway. But if he does, hey, Sheffield United at home, great chance for a clean sheet.
Cool. So then, I mentioned before I move on to my team, I mentioned differentials for you, and I spoke about my differentials last week. Who are your standout players who you think should be in people's squads, irrespective of wildcard or no? Even if you could take a punt for this game week.
I'm actually looking at Jeff Hendricks from Newcastle. Saint Maximin in the new system didn't catch too many eyes. He's just out on the right, didn't really shine that much. Again, I'm not saying that's how it'll be for the season. It could just be for the first fixture. But Jeff Hendricks just come in, scored one, got an assist, got into good positions, and is 0.5 cheaper than Saint Maximin. He's at 5. So
Correct.
I think he might be a good punt for your a proper differential in a low price bracket as well.
What about Fraser? 0.5 more expensive than Saint Maximin. Good point there as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Newcastle looked really good in that. For that, I think Wilson also is a great option because you're getting into the right positions. But yeah, having said all of that, still I'm not going to make those changes this week. But yeah, if you're wildcarding, if you're making a new team, then those are some great differentials that you could have.
Fair enough. I don't want to waste too much time on that. Earlier we looked at the likes of Jamie Vardy also in the last episode, looking at Leicester's fixtures, right? He got 2 penalties, he got 2 goals. Wasn't the best game for him though. Are you happy with suggesting to people that, you know what, the likes of people like me who have Harry Kane at 10.5, downgrade to Vardy right now because a fixture run is quite decent, or no? Hold on.
Yeah, I think Vardy, if you have Vardy, keep Vardy. If you have Kane, keep Kane. Vardy, 24 of his 30 attacking returns last season came against teams under the bottom 10, and Leicester's fixtures do look good. So if you want to get in on those Vardy hauls, that he goes on, now might be the time looking at their fixtures. Obviously, Burnley is a good opponent, but away from home, maybe not. So Vardy might be good to hold on to if you have him. Spurs, I've always had this. I was so vindicated last week when they got nothing. I
So
felt
wait,
so
go on.
happy.
Why don't we move on to Spurs and move on to my team while we discuss Spurs, right? Yeah, so here we have my team, right? And we spoke about this last episode with Abhishek as well. Son and Kane are the two players. I'm going to give them one more week. I know the midweek Europa fixture wasn't the most promising evidence, and I can understand why more than 300,000 managers have now taken out Son, and players are, the managers also are going after Kane now. But I still think there's enough in it to let it go on for one more game week because Spurs still have promising fixtures, right? Um, I'm looking at also the likes of if you have used your wild card and if you're looking at players you want in your side, which you could see settling in at least for the next, till game week 14, 15 even. Wolves' assets now are even more in demand, and I'm even going to tell you that you can go for a 5.5 keeper in Patricio, guaranteed, defend points, save points, just like Says is. So I would look at your Wolves' assets one more time. Jimenez, again, like you said, he ends up scoring just that one goal, right? But Jimenez is someone you can consider as well. He is cheaper than the likes of Kane that we spoke about, Werner, Martial, um, uh, Vardy, even, right? Kern, though, coming back to now what you were talking about Spurs, would you consider maybe moving away from Spurs completely and telling our managers to look at other sides?
I have done that because for me, the price points at which Spurs assets come, there's so many other players available, uh, from premium teams at premium prices who are giving you points week in, week out. Spurs right now aren't doing that. So even though they have the fixtures, they have the individual player qualities that can give you that, as a team, they just don't seem to be able to do it. uh, that to scrape past midweek against a 9-man side to sort of get their goals. And I'm not convinced by Spurs yet. So again, see, if you have Spurs assets right now, hold on for another week, I would say. If you don't, I won't be rushing them in. Or if you have that transfer that you're looking at, making, maybe if you have some money in the bank and you're moving
Right.
Son to City asset, a United asset, Kane, you can easily move on for Martial. You could move on for Aguero. Let's not forget FPL King Aguero could be back.
Correct. You will have
For
much more data available in game week 3, right? You can also make out if Jesus is going to start. Is it Aguero?
yeah,
How fit Sterling is? Is it Sterling or KDB? You can also then, if Spurs don't do well, you can also take out the likes of Son, get James Rodriguez. That's
yeah,
1.5 saved there. I'm looking at if you have my team, right? There's 1.5 saved there. I can do a straight swap from Kane to Aguero. I can get it down to Vardy. That's another point 0.5 in my bank. I can even downgrade one. So my team, if you can notice firstly that the change I'm not going to make yet is Werner to Martial. That's the only change I will consider this week. And that's the only change I'll most likely make till tomorrow. Otherwise, this is how I'm going to go for one more game week to collect the data I'm talking about, right? We've discussed Kern's differential. The differential or a punt I would want or I would make in case you have the appetite for it. If you have the likes of a Son, if you have the likes of an Havertz and you want to take them out for sure, like the managers have been taking them out, getting it down to a James Rodriguez is definitely a good punt to take this week. And or not, if you have that point 0.5 difference in your bank already, even swapping out Mitrovic like managers have, although I personally, again, would not bother switching out a -4 on a 6.0 player. You could take that up to a Wilson, but that is just for this game week. If you're thinking long term, has to be Wolves asset, has to be a Spurs asset or an Everton asset.
Dominic
Dominic
Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin is where I
Yes.
will end this discussion at. And now, Kern, I'm going to throw it off to you. Who do you think should be our manager's top captain pick for this coming game week?
Obama, I think, just signed a contract as well. Will scored a goal last week. Will be happy. Will be
Mhm.
buoyed. Uh, West Ham at home. So everything is there. The forms there, fixtures there. If someone's going, the only one I'm confused with is Martial, maybe, or any. If you have Bruno, then Bruno. Because United at home to Crystal Palace again. Great
Correct.
fixture. uh, Crystal Palace still have their injuries in defense, right? It's not like
Hmm.
that's been solved completely for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'd be looking at your Arsenal attacking assets or your United attacking assets for this. I'm also going to give a differential captain pick, Annie. If you have Kun Aguero, I will say Kun Aguero because that guy, I mean, it's just a fantasy Premier League love for him. He always gives those points. If you have Kun Aguero in your team, captain him, why not? If for a differential.
Yeah, for me, I think it's almost a very easy pick. But not everyone's been saying Aubameyang against West Ham. Even if you're likes of Willian, and Willian's another player I would recommend if you don't have him in your team and you want to get in a player and you want Man City, Liverpool, and United asset, and you don't have 12 for Aguero, 12 for Aubameyang. Obviously, 8.1 billion is a good pick. But I would say, is that fear of missing out on Salah maybe just demolishing Chelsea, right? Chelsea defense is again not that good. Kepa considering a miserable goal against Trossard, against the likes of Trossard, right? So that's the worry there. But logically, the way I see this is we should be focusing on Aubameyang. Should be his week to probably get in those point hauls. Second, obviously, would be Salah. I could change that last minute, but I don't know. And again, if I'm feeling very inspired right before my deadline, I might just switch to Song. But I don't think I'll be making that. Looking at just the way Spurs just look at Southampton are not a bad side. I know they are a 1-0 loss to Crystal Palace, but they weren't battered. So there is something in this squad to maybe even get a result against Spurs or get a draw. And that's again a 1-1 where my strikers aren't giving me anything, right? So we have given our captain picks, we've given you our differential picks, we've given you our strategy for game week 2. Kern, any parting notes for our managers?
I'm going to actually bring up one last player, Annie, before we part. So this also links into the parting note, which is again back to knee-jerk reactions. So I think a lot of people would look at Zaha and Crystal Palace's performance and see the position he's getting into and be like, "Oh my God, we must bring Zaha on." But again, look at the larger picture. Don't go by the sample size of one game. Zaha had 4 goals and 3 assists in 38 games last season.
Correct.
Uh, so that's a sort of patchy form he had last season, where first game week he could have performed and then rest he goes out.
Correct.
So watch out for those stats is what I'm going to tell people. Look at the broader picture. Obviously, it's only one game week. So see how they've been performing before the lockdown, in their warm-up games, stuff like that. Try to take everything into consideration when you're making that transfer, because it is worth -4 in the end, one transfer, if you look at it that way. So just make those thoughts before you make those changes.
Fair enough.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much, Kern, for that. And before we say goodbye, shout out to the current leader of our FPL mini league, Sahil Kanolkar, 95 points. Good job, lad. Let's see how you guys fare in the game week 2. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Don't forget to hit subscribe on our channel. Don't forget to hit like on our videos. Turn on your notifications. Hit us up in our comments on YouTube. A lot of you guys have hit us up on YouTube in the last episode. And you know what? Why don't you send us your teams? And maybe we'll try getting your teams onto our next episode and breaking it down and giving you suggestions, right? Karan, I think that's a great idea. So why don't you guys do that?
Send them on Twitter, yeah.
In fact, even if it's not on below our YouTube channel, why don't you go ahead and do it even on Twitter or on Instagram, right? So we're looking forward to that. And we will see you in the next episode. Have a very, very good FPL game week. See you in game week 3. See you guys.